There is no education without students. And while it's wonderful for all of us to stand up and talk throughout the day with teachers, we get to do that constantly. It's a real privilege to showcase a couple of students who've done some exceptional work today. We're going to first of all meet Sid Sahas. Okay, I can't keep calling you that. What should I call you?
Siddhartha.
Siddhartha. I'm going to go with Sid. Sid, well, actually, I'll let him explain what he's done. But an absolutely amazing student in my English class. And that's the only reason that he's going on to speak to the UN. If he was not in my English class, it would never happen. It's completely on me. Right, Sid?
Sure.
Good answer. Yes, he may get a decent grade. So we're going to start talking with Sid in a couple of minutes, and he's going to give you the presentation that he's giving at the UN in a month. Right?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Siddhartha, as Mr. Alexander just explained. And so when we go around in our cars all around Mumbai, we see people homeless on the streets. And one day when I was walking up on the road, there was this one small kid who asked me for food. And this really got me thinking, how has this become such a big problem? Because food is a basic right everyone should have. So I started Project Annam to dig a little deeper and find out the root cause of the problem. While I was researching about the problem I just mentioned, I came upon the UN SDGs. The UN has created 17 Sustainable Development Goals that work towards a better society, and Zero Hunger, which is SDG 2, is one that mainly aligned with what I was looking for. So SDG 2 has 4 main prongs, which are to end world hunger, stop all forms of malnutrition, help small-scale farmers, and ensure sustainable farming practices. Now, we all know about world hunger, and it's a big problem, but do we know how big a problem it really is? As you can see, 32% of children in India are stunted, and 18% of children in India are wasted. Now, we've all heard this, but what does it mean? Stunted is when a kid is basically not his intended, not his perfect height, and wasted is when a kid is underweight. And this is obviously not good. But this problem is not just in India. This problem happens all around the world and mainly in the global south, but it's a big problem everywhere we go. So I started Project Annam. Project Annam's mission is to ensure no child goes to bed hungry or malnourished. Now, this is a very big and broad topic, and I can't achieve this. So I set out 4 main objectives, which were to support 100 children for 1 year, raise awareness on malnutrition amongst people, create a network of well-wishers to support these children, and raise awareness amongst children about the problem and food nutrition. So now that I identified my problem, how did I take it forward and achieve my objectives? I first conducted research and saw and learned more about the problem. And I analyzed these research and past efforts that where they've gone wrong, and I learned from these past efforts. And then from these past efforts, I generated solutions and picked out the best solutions that I thought would work for my project. And next was to implement and monitor these solutions. And after implementing and getting data from these solutions, I learned from that data and tried to modify my solutions, make them better. I first conducted research and analysis. I spoke to many people. I spoke to over 50 people from my community and my school. And I spoke to teachers. I spoke to government officials to get a sense of what they were doing to solve the problem. I spoke to orphanage heads and NGOs. And I interviewed private and government school heads. From these interviews, I gained tons of very interesting insights. I want to share 4 main insights with you today. The first one is that the most vulnerable group to malnutrition is 3 to 18. This is the main time for a child to grow, and if they don't grow now, they never will. And this is the reason there are many stunting and wasting cases in India. The second main insight I learned was that the government has many fantastic schemes in place, like the midday meal scheme. This not only ensures that children get the nutrition they need, but also ensures children come to school every day. I also learned that while talking to the orphanage heads, COVID has hit orphanages a lot. They lost lots of their funding, and they were barely able to pay electricity bills, let alone feed the children that were in the orphanages. I also learned that people like you and me, we don't realize it, but we waste a lot of food on a daily basis. We are privileged and have the opportunity to to get the food we want, and we ask our moms and dads, "Can you make me this? Can you make me that?" But half of it goes to waste, and we don't realize it. But there are people who are in great need of this food. So from my research, I generated some ideas. I generated 5 ideas that I thought I could take forward, which was to establish networks, run orphanage food drives, run medical checkups, and raise awareness, and also educate children. How did I implement these different solutions? First, I ran medical checkups. So I basically visited 2 orphanages and checked up over 70 children. We checked them for all medical health problems, and many of them had anemia, vitamin B deficiencies, and most of them had no clue about personal hygiene. Then I realized that this is a problem and I should do something about this. So I started fundraising. And from this fundraiser, I'm glad to say I collected over 1.5 lakhs. That's 150,000 rupees. And with this, I fed over 150 children in 2 different orphanages for over 2 months. And from the medical health data that I collected, I created a meal plan to help 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 to specific create a specific meal plan to help these children. So I also raised awareness on the problem with two main areas. I ran an Instagram campaign, which I'm glad to say got over 1,000 impressions and helped educate a lot of people like me and you about the problem and what we can do to stop it. And I also educated children in these orphanages on what they should eat and when they should eat and what they shouldn't eat, like junk food. Now, I've done all of this, but I have no intention of stopping anytime soon. I've created 3 main plans for the future. First one is to hold more awareness sessions to increase awareness. In fact, this is one of the awareness sessions I'm holding with you. Second one is to connect these orphanages to more NGOs to create a stable network so orphanages would never run short of food. And finally, I wanted to learn more about this problem. There are plenty of NGOs and government schemes that I still don't know about. And I wanted to tie up with them, learn more about this problem so I can create a better impact. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sid. Before we call on our next speaker, let's quickly unpick that. So let me see if I've got this straight. You're going to fly to New York and give this speech at the UN.
Yeah, exactly not this speech, but a shorter version of this. My project has been selected to go to the UN and deliver the speech in a General Assembly.
It's really amazing. I mean, it's a fantastic area. Have you been to New York before?
I have not been to New York before. This will be my first time. I haven't been to the US before, so excited to go as a pleasure trip as well as as well as delivering the speech.
Yeah, we'll all stop donating now. Okay, what you talked a little bit about what made you start on this impact. I mean, obviously, living in Mumbai, we all pass people with unfortunate backgrounds. What made you think, or what was the difference that made you think to help them then rather than every other day that you passed?
So I think 2 main reasons. First, I love food. I think Simar and Nilekha will tell you how much I love food. And second, at that time, I was just from my school in Bangalore, my old school. I was starting a project. I had to start a project through a foundation called 1M1B, which is 1 million for 1 billion, and they basically empower young leaders. So I thought, and coincidentally at that time, this kid came to my car door, and I thought this is a huge problem. It's everywhere, and clearly it's not being stopped anytime soon. And I thought I could help stop this problem. It was coincidental at that time I was starting 1M1B. I love food, so I combined the two.
And we can still donate to this, yes? How do we do that?
So yeah, I will be starting a fundraiser soon, and I'll put it up in the school newsletter, the link to it in the school newsletter, so anyone who is interested could please donate.
I do have one more question. You talked about feeding 100 young people on the street. Are they aware? Have you met them? Are you inviting them to the school? Is there a way of approaching?
I'm sorry, is the question to approach me approaching them or you? Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I've approached them. Yeah, I've approached them. I've gone to the orphanages in which I was targeting, and I've approached them, I've interviewed them, I've spoken to them, I've conducted medical checkups, I've spoken to the orphanage heads or what they would like to get from me. So I've spoken to them, I've gotten their feedback, and yeah, so I've engaged with them. I'm not sure because this orphanage was in Bangalore. Yeah, so I'm not sure how I could get them to school here.
Okay, that might be a little bit difficult, but congratulations anyway. And please, one more round of applause. When we started this symposium, we knew that we were going to talk a lot about research. We've seen with the TEDx students who have done research for their EE. Sid has done research for the gain of his country and his fellow youth. I think that's a nice way of putting it. But we also know that there's more to education than just research. We wanted to showcase the creativity and the writing of our students. So in school tradition, time honored, we held a competition. The winner of which is with us today, or at least one of the winners is with us today to read out and come on stage and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, my name is Amartya and I'm 13 years old and I'm from grade 8 and today I'm going to be talking about the power of dreams.
Amartya, let me just check that. You're 13 years old. Okay. I'm feeling very inferior. Good. Okay. And this is a story you've written. And what inspired you to write it?
That I've heard of all these different types of powerful leaders and how they made their dreams into actual realities. But nowadays, a lot of people have dreams, but they're not really doing anything about it. They're not putting in any effort.
That's fantastic. Well, without further ado, could you read your story?
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and fellow dreamers, today I stand before you to talk about a topic that has inspired generations, ignited revolutions, and brought about profound change in our world. I speak of the power of dreams, drawing inspiration from the indomitable spirits of Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, and Rosa Parks. These remarkable individuals not only dared to dream, but they also turned those dreams into powerful movements that shook the foundations of injustice and inequality. Martin Luther King Jr. once eloquently stated, I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. King's dream was a vision of racial equality and harmony, a dream that refused to accept the change of segregation and discrimination. His dream was not merely an idle wish, but a call to action that sparked the civil rights movements, inspiring countless of individuals to stand up for justice, equality, and human dignity. Rosa Parks, often called as the mother of civil rights movement, had a dream as well. She dreamed in a world where African Americans could sit wherever they pleased on a bus without facing any discrimination or segregation. Her refusal to give up her seat on a Montgomery bus in 1955 was a courageous act that ignited the Montgomery bus boycott and set in motion a chain of events that would ultimately lead to the end of segregation in public transport. Rosa Parks' dream was a catalyst for change and a symbol of resistance against injustice. Similarly, Mahatma Gandhi's dream was rooted in the principles of non-violence and civil disobedience. He dreamed of a free India, liberated from the tyranny of British colonial rule. and a society that embraced unity, tolerance, and respect for all. Gandhi's dream led him to embark on a journey of peaceful resistance. His dream became a beacon of hope for oppressed people worldwide, illustrating the transformative power of nonviolent protest. The frail Mahatma took on the might of the British Empire and galvanized the entire nation. To rise of the depths of poverty, ignorance, and oppression and fight for their freedom. Today we stand with our heads held high because Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation, dared to dream of a strong, self reliant India. These three visionary individuals not only dreamed of a better world, but also took bold steps to make those dreams a reality. They shared a common belief that dreams alone are not enough. They must be accompanied by unwavering determination, moral courage, and action. They showed us that dreams can be powerful tools for positive changes when we have the courage to pursue them. But the lesson of their lives and their dreams goes beyond their individual struggles. Their legacies teach us that dreams are not exclusive to a select few, they are the birthright of every single human being. We all have the capacity to dream, to envision a brighter future, and to work towards that vision. No matter the obstacles we face, our dreams have the potential to transcend boundaries, break down barriers, and bring about the change we wish to see in the world. In conclusion, let us never underestimate the power of our dreams. Let us draw inspiration from the extraordinary lives of Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, and Rosa Parks, who turned their dreams into big beacons of hope for generations to come. Their dreams were not just aspirations, they were calls to action that changed the course of history. So let us dare to dream, and more importantly, let us have the courage to dream. Knowing that dreams have the power to change the world, I too have a dream of a fit world where health is wealth and fitness, which leads to long lasting happiness, a fit world where both disease, mental and physical, are just an illusion of the past, where the mind is free and the body is able, where both men and women are confident, resilient, and ready to take on the world. Inspired by my dream, I penned a few lines for the recently concluded Kobayas poetry competition. I quote a stanza from the same. So let your body move, your spirit ignite. In the rhythm of fitness, find your own light. Each step a stanza, each workout a song. In this fitness journey, we all belong. Thank you.
So, first of all, thank you. That was incredibly well read. Beautiful. How long did you work on it?
2 weeks I worked on this.
And what inspired you?
The fact that today nowadays there's not much happening with dreams and people aren't very hardworking nowadays. They're all lazy.
I've got nothing to say to that. Apart from the fact I started at 6:30 this morning. Okay, so if you could change something about the world that you're about to inherit, what would you like us to leave you? What would you like us to turn the world into before you inherit it?
I would like the world to be turned into a more hardworking place where people do dream, but they also try their best to make those dreams into reality so that the world just ultimately becomes a better place to live in.
Siddharth, you're 2 years older, yes? So he's talking about you. You have to do that, please. All right. This is a showcase of our students' ability and also just a way of celebrating our students and whether you're going on to the UN or whether you're just coming up on stage here. I think we'll all agree that they've done a fantastic job. Please give them that. Thank you, everybody. So back on the first floor, Richard Hester will be ground floor. Sorry, this is the first floor. You're on the first floor. on the ground floor, Richard Hester will be leading his keynote on something which I've totally forgotten, unfortunately, Richard. I really do apologize. And then we're back here in a little bit for oh no, we're up on the fourth floor. Good point. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, I really should remember that. It's my wife's. So there are two options. We have a plethora of options. Down on the ground floor, there is a keynote from Richard Hester, one of our guest speakers. And there's also a workshop on the art of leadership in the room back there. And then we're back on the fourth floor finally today to see our head of secondary school. Yes, possibly. I just got a phone call from her. So we're back on the fourth floor to see head of secondary, Camille Gauthier, do her keynote. So thank you all very, very much for your patience. And one more round of applause for our students.
Thank you.